guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over 2 entertaining articles dealing with the subject of women trying to convince men to get involved with big girls. And when I say big girls, I'm talking very, very big girls. And the whole narrative that basically what she looks like, her body type shouldn't matter. That a guy should like her for who she is, her personality and all that, even if she weighs 500 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous because that's the equivalent of trying to tell a pretty girl in her prime that it shouldn't make a difference what a guy does for a living. That if he's broke or has a dead-end minimum wage job, shouldn't matter, you should go out with him. Good luck with that happening. Well, it's the same thing with trying to tell us guys because looks, no matter what, is always the number one thing. And the first article is from this place called Millionaire Match, where I kid you not, this giant list of all these reasons why guys should go out with a big girl. Kid you not. And a Millionaire Match, obviously this is for high-value guys. Good luck there. And the second article I'm going to cover, which is the really funny one, it's about basically, in my opinion, a feminist writer who's losing her mind because some guy wrote a satire, a funny thing of 15 reasons why guys should go out with big girls. And obviously, he's being sarcastic and making jokes and everything, and she's taking it personally, and she's losing her mind over the whole thing, and that was pretty clever. And it'll list all the things he says, the 15 reasons, and they're pretty funny, and obviously her comments on that. And again, guys, like I said, this has been pushed on us, and I'm sure maybe you guys have people try to shame you for not going for that girl or that girl, even though it's like, look, you're a guy that takes care of yourself, you're in shape, you're healthy. Why are you going to get involved with some, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some nice girls, and they're actually have pretty faces, but if they're very, very big and overweight and obese, it's not going to work. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some guys that like big girls, and if you do, hey, to each their own. But me personally, no thanks. So this first one coming from Millionaire Match, it's titled, Why Are Fit Men Dating FAT Women? Yes, I got to spell that because YouTube is YouTube. It says here, for years, society has painted a narrow picture of what attraction should look like. Lean bodies, sculpted abs, and magazine-perfect proportions. But in the real world, love rarely follows a script. And lately, there's a growing trend that challenges those old assumptions, fit men dating FAT women. Oh yeah, where is this trend? What are you talking about? This pairing turns heads, invites curiosity, and more often than not, unearths people's biases. But if we look past superficial judgments, we uncover a powerful truth. Attraction is far more complex than appearances. So why are fit men choosing plus-size women? The answer is layered and refreshingly human. Come on here. Plus size, I always have to think, like, how many pluses are you talking about in front of her fucking name here? Okay, I ain't just talking about girls, extra meat on her bones, some junk in the trunk. I don't mind a girl, a little extra meat on her bones. Frankly, I like girls with big boobs and slightly larger asses. But there's a difference between that and, holy shit, Henrietta the Hippo. No, thank you. But this is trying to push that. It says, number one, they value confidence over conformity. Yeah. Your average guy who's in shape and fit and takes care of himself is going to prefer a confident girl if she is huge. What many don't realize is that confidence is incredibly attractive, often more so than body type. Fit men, especially those who have worked hard to build their lives and health, are often drawn to women who carry themselves with assurance and comfort in their own skin. Plus-size women who own their worth, set boundaries, and embrace their identity radiate a magnetic confidence that can't be measured by the scale. You know this is written by a woman. Abso-fucking-lutely. She's probably like, oh my god, who's going to buy this shit? Really? Guys that are fit and in shape and take care of themselves, are disciplined, work hard, they want an equal. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now again, there are some guys that like big chicks. There are a lot of guys that would bang a very big chick, but they sure wouldn't be in a relationship with her. Number two, substance matters more than size. Yeah, honey. Many fit men are not looking for arm candy. They're looking for substance, connection, and companionship. They've outgrown the shallow chase and are focused on values that build lasting relationships, trust, humor, kindness, and emotional depth. Well, don't get me wrong, those are all good things, but we don't want a chick that's bigger than us. There's nothing wrong with that. Often plus-size women have faced judgment or dismissal in dating, which has made them resilient, insightful, and emotionally mature. These are qualities that appeal to men who know what really matters in a partner. Again, like I said in the beginning, try convincing a pretty gal, an arguably pretty gal, we could all agree is a pretty girl, probably an 8 or above, one that walks in the room, guys notices, who's in her prime. Try to convince her in a similar article to go out with a broke guy. I'm not talking about hooking up with a broke Chatter Tyrone, because they will actually do that. I'm talking like being in a relationship and go somewhere with a broke guy, or a guy that has a minimum wage job, isn't trying to go anywhere in life. It's never going to happen, ever. Number 3, they're rejecting society's double standards. Let's face it, society tends to place stricter beauty expectations on women. Men can be heavier, balding, older, and still seen as eligible, but women often scrutinized for every pound. Well, those guys that are older, balding, and heavier, if those guys happen to have a good career, a good net worth, earning potential, or already earning very well, the women will look past that because that's higher up on the big thing. Or if those guys happen to be very confident, but yet be balding, there are a lot of women that like bald guys. Or guys that have their hair in a certain way because it's kind of receding or whatever. Or, I got a buddy, I haven't seen him, an acquaintance. And he has one of the most smoking hot wives I've ever seen. And the dude's obese. I never fucking got it. He does well for himself, but he's not rich. But he was always very, I guess, authoritative. That's the way to describe it. He's an alpha. He's going to have health problems pretty soon because he's probably close to 50. But his wife, fucking gorgeous. And he has 2 daughters, and they're both gorgeous too. They're like almost adults now. Great kids. But my God, and I was like, what the fuck? Well, again, I think it's his alpha authoritative nature. I think that he's a good provider. And you can tell, and I've been around them as a couple, both with groups and parties and just us. And she loves him to death. But it's different with them, with guys. And they just think that we're going to be the same way. It doesn't work that way. Next up, number 4, shared values over shared workouts. While shared lifestyles, habits can be nice, values, art alignments matter far more than fitness routines. Fit men may love the gym, but they often seek a partner who shares deeper qualities, ambition, compassion, loyalty, emotional intelligence. Again, those are good qualities, but if a guy's busting his butt in the gym, being disciplined, not having too much beer and pizza while his buddies are and they're overweight, they're going to want an equal. Plus-size women are not a monolith. They may be into wellness, hiking, meal prep, and none of the above. What draws couples together isn't how many push-ups they can do, but how well they connect when the workout ends. I agree, you got to have a connection beyond the gym, but still. 5, emotional safety is rare and precious. She says, one of the most understated reasons why fit men date fat women, and by the way, I'm assuming this is a female writer here. It has to be here. They don't say who it is. They're saying fat, so fine. Is emotional safety. With many plus-size women, there's less ego, posturing, less competition, and more realness. Conversations flow, expectations are clear, vulnerability is welcome. No, vulnerability is not welcome. No guy should be vulnerable with any woman. I don't care whether she's a fit 110-pound gal or she weighs 500 pounds. Don't ever be vulnerable. And by the way, this whole thing about basically the big girls, and I'm using that term lately, are not going to have, I don't know if you will, shallow bullshit as the skinny pretty girls. I have news for you. Welcome to 2020s. When the 5s think they're 10s and all that. And today's dating culture, often noisy, filtered, and performant, the kind of safe emotional space is a rare and precious gift. And for fit men who face the superficiality of the dating world, it's a reason to stay. Well, there are plenty of big girls that are superficial too. Number 6, they're looking for real, not ideal. Social media and Hollywood may push ideals, but real relationships are built on shared goals, mutual support, and emotional connection. Fit men dating fat women, this is what she said, reflects a growing maturity in modern dating. They're not chasing a fantasy, they're building a life. No, this whole thing is fantasy. Come on here. Now I'm sure there's some guys watching this now that have banged a few whales after they harpooned them. Maybe some are married to them and they really like them. And if that's the case, okay. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. To each their own. I hope you're happy. But majority of guys out there, they don't want humongous chicks, especially if they're busting their tails to stay healthy. Final thoughts from Her Highness here. So why are fit men dating fat women? Because they're tired of playing pretend, because they want more than surface level attraction, because true love doesn't follow body standards, it breaks them. Get the fuck out of here. As society evolves, so do dating norms. If you're someone who's ready to embrace real connection, whether you're fit, fat, or somewhere in between, the future of love is wide open. What a steaming pile of crap. But that's the shit they're trying to brainwash guys with. Anyhow, guys, I thought you'd find that funny. Okay, on to the second article. And by the way, shout out to Mr. Arkansas for sending this one. Titled, "This Guy's 15 Reasons to Date Bigger Women Will Seriously Outrage You." So anytime a woman is writing an article with that telling people they should be outraged, we have to do it and roast it. So this guy, I don't know who the fuck he is, wrote this list, like I said, 15 reasons to date big chicks. And obviously it's a parody, and he's being a smart ass, and they're pretty fucking funny. And it deeply offended this woman here, I'm thinking is a feminist. I just, read between the lines here. And so I'm going to go through this here, her little article, and she'll list all the things he says, starting at number 15 down to the number one reason why guys to date bigger women, and they're pretty funny. And she, of course, has commentary, because, of course, she would. So she says here, have you ever read something so bad, so hideously offensive, so inappropriate that you almost want to give it a slow clap just for sheer chutzpah? Well, you'd think it'd be hard to offend all fat women, thin women, and every man who's not a douchebag, and yet Jim Hoag's recent article for The Richest, 15 Thoughts Every Guy Has When Dating a Bigger Woman, manages to do exactly that. Congrats. I think I can speak for a lot of us when I say that I love reading things that offend people. That makes my day. In an attempt to be brutally honest, Hoag lays out all the reasons why a man, who presumably is not fat, would ever date a lady a size. Lady a size? Sure, one of his 15 points is some men think fat women are beautiful, but the other 14 are dedicated to tired stereotypes, basically boiling down to Fatty McFatterson is super into food and will do anything to please a man because she's desperate. Well, that's kind of true. Here we go. Number 15, your date is tough. He says that fat ladies are rough and tough because they have to take care of themselves because dudes only want to protect skinny chicks. She says, well, I'd say he better be pretty tough, if only to survive all the punches to the gut he gets when he says loudly that he's only into fit girls who take care of themselves. Oh, God forbid a guy says he's into fit women who take care of themselves. Number 14, the guy says they can cook. She says, so, fat girls live in the kitchen and love nothing more than cooking comfort food for their man. By that logic, bigger dudes should be 5-star Michelin chefs. Honey, I expect a 5-course gourmet meal by 6 tonight. Okay, thank you. We're just getting started here. She's pissed off. Number 13, calorie counting is out. His whole argument boils down to one word, pizza. He doesn't want to feel shame for eating a big greasy pie, and skinny girls are harpies who berate pizza eaters. But hey, what good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Oh, except most guys don't worry about calories anyhow because society doesn't fat shame men on nearly the same level it does women. Well, there's truth to that. I'll be fair here. But then again, guys are seen as the protector, as the earner, all that type of thing. And so it's a little different here. And as for men, we're the first thing on every guy's list, whether you want to admit it or not, is looks. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's not fair, but there are things that ain't fair for guys. Number 12, it's good for their confidence. Hoag actually wrote this tripe. A lot of guys are just hanging with plus-size women because they don't think they can do better and are slumming, and just waiting for the time to be right so they can make their move on skinnier, hotter women. Number 11, they might like fatties better. Some guys are just attracted to fat girls, he says. She says it's true, but while Hoag seems baffled by this fact, I take it a step further. People are attracted to all kinds of body types, and it's not something weird or surprising. It's also not something to be super proud about. Fat or thin, it's not an honor to give you a boner, Hoag. Well, yeah, the beauty's in the eye of the beholder, like I said twice earlier, and everybody has a type, or the kind of a type, and there are some guys that like really big ones, but by and large, by and large, the majority is not into obese women. And guess what? By and large, women aren't into obese men, and that's okay. But we know the whole body positivity nonsense has been pushed on the public for a while now, and people are finally waking up that that's a disaster. But we got more of this. Number 10, they are easy to talk to. Skinny ladies just don't listen, and fat ladies have nothing better to do with their time than to be an open receptacle to your pie hole. So I suppose the same goes for larger men. In other words, he's saying they're easy to talk to because they'll take any attention they can get. 9, picking a place to eat is easy. In other words, she'll go anywhere as long as there's food. Big girls don't cry over restaurants. According to Hogue, they're always down to eat anything you want to eat and have no culinary preferences of their own. Well, that's definitely not true. Number 8, the cuddling is the best. Fluffy women make the best cuddle buds, Hogue says. She says, where's Meghan Trainor to write a song when I need one? In other words, he's saying, well, they're very big, so they're easy to, snuggle up with and cuddle with. 7, they are a built-in workout buddy. This one may sound positive at first, but don't worry, Hogue isn't telling you to value a woman who likes to exercise. Rather, he thinks fat women never work out, so they think anything you do at the gym is amazing and will follow you around like a puppy. Confidence booster for him, I guess. Number 6, and these are going to start to get pretty funny. Number 6, there is less pressure on how you look. Translation, well, she's humongous, so she'll take what she can get. She says, fat ladies have to let themselves go, so dudes don't have to worry about being in shape for them. Hogue helpfully explains, but hey, that must mean that women dating fat men get a similar privilege, right? Nope, turns out larger dudes still expect the women to be perfectly slim and trim. I'll take a double standard for 500, Alex. Well, that's a bunch of crap. Newsflash, if you have a pretty girl who's disciplined and hits the gym and eats healthy and all that and takes care of herself, I got no problem with her wanting a guy just like that. I know there are guys out there that they want a pretty girl in shape, healthy and all that, and they do not take care of themselves and they're overweight and all that. That's a load of crap. Tough shit, guys. Get your asses in shape. Number 5, jealousy is a thing of the past. She says, oh yes, he went there. Hogue says a guy will never have to be jealous of all the man stares his large lady is getting because no one else will ever want her. Well, there's some truth to that, but there's always going to be someone that might want to tap somebody. This actually makes me so mad, I can't even think of an appropriate snarky comeback. Yes, you can. Telling somebody they have to stay with you because you're the only one who ever loved them is a tactic employed by abusers. No woman or man should ever have to hear that. Well, I agree, no one should ever have to hear that or say that. But, they're thinking that. 4, and this is, again, regarding big chicks, they tend to be funny. She says, fat girls are funny. Maybe you haven't heard. Oh, yes. Have you? Because it's the oldest stereotype in the book. Look, I've known a lot of big chicks, and they tend to be very funny, and they pretty much are making up where they're kind of lacking in the measurement department. It's a stereotype, but it's the truth. Number 3, they tend to be eager to please. Call me crazy, but a lot of guys out there have heard or experienced that tend to be the bigger the girl, the better she is at performing certain things. And the age-old joke is, well, she kind of has to. Says here, big women, and I'm choosing a different word here, don't have a lot to offer. See, so they do anything you want to them because they're desperate, according to Hogue. She says, I know, I get it. I know that sounds really bad, but it's true. He writes, proving that he clearly does not get it and does more than sound bad. But hey, by that logic, big men should also be eager to please too. Oh, except they're not, because men are still valued by society more for their status and earning potential than their looks. Well, that's the truth. Men are mostly valued for earning potential. Come on here. Number 2, you can take them anywhere. In other words, they'll take anything. Big girls are desperate to please you and have no lives or interests of their own. Yes, we're back to that, I guess. And number 1, they are easy to ask out. In other words, fat girls are desperate. Again, how many ways is he going to say that? So there you go. There is unfortunate but a lot of truth to all that, But the thing is this, is like if you let yourself go. Okay, let me put this another way. Guys, if you are broke and you have nothing going on with your life, and you don't take care of yourself, and if you have a minimum wage job, you're not going anywhere in life, no ambitions, no goals, nothing going on, guys like that are pretty much going to take any girl, guys that do actually want to have a girlfriend or whatever, they're going to pretty much take what they can get. Now, A lot of guys say, "Man, no way," but come on here. So that's why the joke on the big girls, the same thing. Pretty much, they'll take whatever they can get. This woman's losing her mind about the whole thing, and some of them are mean, true, but I'm kind of an asshole, so I do find these things amusing. But back to the point of this whole video here. It's been pushed on guys for a long time, ever since this body positivity bullshit started about 10 years ago, that, hey, looks shouldn't matter, and that you're a big jerk, and you're superficial and all that. But again, I don't see articles popping up telling pretty women in their prime to date broke guys, or minimum wage guys, or guys that go anywhere. Oh, no, 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 no. But when it comes to us, they try the shaming tactics. And the worst thing is, there's some guys that fall for it. Well, guys, don't fall for it. And oh yeah, by the way, that article I just read about the 15 things, turns out after I read it, it's like fucking 9 years old, from 2016. I didn't know that until I finished it, but still it's relevant. That's about the time period the body positivity bullcrap started, and they're trying to push this. But a lot of guys, a lot of that is starting to scale back, I've noticed, in the last year or so. And because, well, a lot of these people that pushed that are getting very sick or dying because of, obviously, health problems. Because, by being overweight or obese, you can get heart disease, type 2 diabetes. I can go on here. So not a very good thing. Anyhow, guys, I thought these articles be entertaining for you tonight. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let's hear it, guys. Have you ever been pushed by somebody, shamed to try to get involved with very big chicks? Maybe your sister, your mom, or girls in your office or work, or mutual friends have been trying to do that. I'd like to hear about it in the comment section. I'm sure some of you have people try to shame you into doing that. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.